Now, the new trailer for Final Destination 6 has come out, and it's honestly very interesting because, as we know in the previous Final Destination movies, it's about one person seeing a huge, horrific accident that kills a lot of people, including themselves beforehand, and then tries to save a lot of people, and then death decides to come for them, and each of them die one by one in other individual horrific accidents. That's the main theory. The main plot of the Final Destination movies. But this one seems different, and apparently in this trailer that we see a family and just getting together for an outside barbecue or something, a lot of members, and just hanging out, talking and doing stuff. And then, similar to the other movies, one of them ends up in an individual horrific accident because of certain things that happen during the scene. Stuff that happens and it's connected. That's kind of how all the deaths in Final Destination movies work. But yeah, that one person dies, and then we see a scene of the grandmother talking to her grandmother. Now she has the grandmother talking to her granddaughter, and we see her and the granddaughter asking what's going on, and the grandmother tells them that this was happening because of what happened a long time ago when the grandmother was young. And we get a flashback scene of, I think it was a long time ago, maybe the 60s or something. We see the grandmother and a bunch of people when she was young, or really young, and then they are all dancing on top of a giant a pole-like building with a ring on the top, and the floor is made of glass. And she gets a premonition that everyone's going to die, including herself, as what usually happens in the movies. And then she managed to save a lot of them. And she goes back to saying that this is all happening because she saved all those people, and now death is coming. But the interesting thing about this trailer is the fact that normally in the Final Destination movies, we see death coming for the individuals immediately after they survive the accidents. It doesn't really take that much time, and death gets all of them. But in this movie, apparently, it took a long time for death to come. That's the interesting part. I mean, it took decades for death to come for them. But what's more interesting is that death isn't just coming for them. Death is coming for their children and the grandchildren who have them. Because apparently, these children and grandchildren were never meant to be born because their parents were supposed to die back then. So that's an interesting new take on the Final Destination movies. Because death is coming for people who are never meant to exist. So it'll be interesting to see how this movie plays out. I mean, is there a way they can actually cheat death this time? Because in the previous movies, we see them trying to cheat death and it didn't work. So maybe because these children aren't directly connected to death, they can somehow manage to escape it. But I don't know how it's gonna work. And honestly, I really hope this time around we get some sort of a solid reasoning, solid way to, a solid reasoning or something to understand how death comes for everyone and why it's coming, and is there something, some external entity that's doing this, and maybe they can fight it and stop it. I mean, that was what I was hoping in the previous Final Destination movies, that somehow they finally managed to cheat death, but that doesn't happen. And this movie might be the beginning of a new storyline or something. Maybe some of them actually managed to escape, and I don't know, maybe it's a whole new thing. But anyway, this is a Final Destination movie, so we're gonna see people die in very different ways, very realistic ways. That's the scary part about it. And obviously everyone's gonna watch this movie. I mean, as long as you can be able to handle the realistic ways that people die, because the special thing about this movie is the deaths that happen in this movie, that could actually happen to anyone. That's how they make the deaths happen. I mean, anyone could die that way. They die in normal ways. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens in the movie, as it's about to come out in a couple of months, I think. Yeah, on May, I forgot the date, somewhere in May.